If your machine is spoiled, you can buy machine. If the
Yeah.
building is spoiled, you can construct a new building. But you can't get the people if you lose them. That is the fundamental thing. Give value to them, and while selecting, you keep in mind that the other person also is a team person. If you
Yeah.
select a person who is not a team person, then it is a problem for him.
Absolutely.
Trust and believe on your functional heads, so that they will get their own team members and they will perform. Of course, you do the reviews once in a month or twice in a month. You do the reviews and all. Give them the directions. Give them whatever inputs you want to give, but give them freedom to work. We should not interfere on day-to-day basis. That is my way of working.
I'm very delighted today. And I think I'm not saying much, but PV knows this happiness which I might be feeling, because we last time interacted in 2008. And it's after 14 years that I'm talking to PV, Mr. PV Rao. And Mr. PV Rao is currently working as he's the chairman and managing director in a company called Synergic Weld Solutions Private Limited. And before that, he was the director in Pennar Industries Limited and Pennar Global INC USA for many years. And before that, he was the managing director for close to a decade. And before that, in Pennar Industries Limited. And before that, I had this brief privilege of working with PV, I think between December 2006, when I joined Tata Blue Star Steel, and January 2008, when PV decided to leave us alone.
Yeah, I joined in 2005 April,
correct.
and then I left.
Yeah, you worked for almost 3 years, close to
3
3
years I was there, yeah.
While I had the privilege of working with you as a team member, I think that time you were Chief Operating Officer in Tata Blue Star Steel Limited. So audience, let me share with you one thing for those who have got even slightest of idea about pre-engineered building. I can tell you that anybody who knows at least a bit of PEB in India, outside India, he has got to know PV. So I think PV has been the person who has been in the field of PV over the last many decades, more than 3 decades. And of course, we are going to
29 years, 3 decades.
Almost 3 decades, because I had some check on LinkedIn without asking for your permission, PV. And PV, let me start with 2 memories, which I am going to share with you as well as with the audience for the first time. I recall it was 2008, February first week, and you had recently left the organization. The farewell had been done. I think it was very warm farewell. And many people had shared a lot about their experience of working with you. And there comes this guy, one of the functional heads, and he came and told me, Arun, I'm not feeling very good here. This was a loss to the company. PV should not have been allowed to leave the company. I said, yeah, had I been the head of HR in this company, I would not have allowed PV to leave. Of course, I don't know what happened. I became head of HR in 2010, but of course, 2 years before that, PV had left. I think he joined a very good organization, a big organization in a very big role. I'm just saying on a lighter note. Having said that, it was not exactly light for the company because we all missed your absence. We all missed you. Yeah, another thing, PV, I recall very clearly. Yeah, thank you so much. And another memory which comes to my mind is another anecdote which comes to my mind is I recall PV as the senior-most person that I have ever met in my life, with whom it was such a natural relationship, while having the first name-based relationship. You're one of those people, very senior people, and still people, even youngsters used to be very comfortable while calling you as PV by the first name. Yeah. But there are some other people also where people encourage others to call them by first name. That's normal culture in multinationals. But actually, I have never seen in many cases where actually youngsters have been so comfortable while talking to you. And no surprises that there are some very senior people who had this privilege of working with you for more than 1 decade. They still are working in Pennar Industries Limited. They must have been so connected to you. So PV, you had this amazing, I'll say, this amazing ability to build such a deep connection with people across the age groups. And this you have done for more than 3 decades, PV. So how could you do that, PV? I think let's start with something from PV's side. And once again, PV, thank you so much for joining the audience. I'm pretty sure this interaction audience is going to be one of the most inspiring, most heart-touching interaction conversation. Please watch this till the end. That's very important. PV, over to you. So how does it feel to have worked for more than almost close to 4 decades in various areas and have built such a I think a group of people who are connected so deeply with you, and they have been inspired. They've got lots and lots of lessons from you. So anything from you, and then we'll pick it up from there, and then we'll proceed with the conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and warm welcome to you once again.
I would suggest that I will tell about my history right from the beginning.
Yeah, please, PV, please.
That will, I think that will be a little interesting to you and
Sure,
others.
sure. Actually, yeah, sure.
Who do not know my full history, so let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
I was born in a village in Andhra Pradesh in 1959. In my mother's village near Chirala, there is a beach. Sea, is there, and beach is there in Chirala. I think you must be knowing about it. So then, actually, my grandfather and father, they are settled in Vijayawada. And by the time I was born in 1959, they were having a fertilizers business in Vijayawada. So my grandfather was a teacher in Gudivada and Machilipatnam and all. And he came to Vijayawada in 1954 to start fertilizers business. Those days, whoever wants to buy fertilizers in Andhra and Telangana area, of course, now the state got divided, but earlier it was only Andhra Pradesh. So all people used to come to Vijayawada to buy fertilizers because that is a hub. Because the railway junction, it is the second biggest railway junction in India. So all the wagons used to come there. So people used to come all over Andhra Pradesh state. Farmers used to come to Vijayawada, buy fertilizers, and then go back to their fields. Actually, that is how it used to be there. And apart from doing this fertilizers business, my family is closely connected with Communist Party, CPI, those days. So my father was a councillor, municipal councillor in 1964, and,
Wow.
my grandfather also was a silent supporter of communist movement and all. And my father's brother, Chacha, he was almost for 20 years he was treasurer for Andhra Pradesh Prajanatya Mandali. That means a cultural organization of the Communist Party of India. So I was also, because I'm born in the communist family, so we used to get a newspaper called Vishalandra. That's the only newspaper we used to get that purely talks about the mostly boasting about Communist Party, communist leaders and speeches and all. So I'm brought up in that atmosphere basically, and then I did my engineering from Kakinada, and that is a civil engineering branch.
Yeah.
And after I came out in 1981 January, it was a 4.5 years course actually. So when I came out of engineering college, the civil engineers during that time, there was a lot of demand. The government departments used to induct those civil engineers, but unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever you say, I was belonging to Vijayawada, which is Krishna district, and Krishna district and two other districts, they come under Zone 2. So Zone 2 people were not having any jobs that time, government jobs.
Okay.
So then I was wondering what to do. Then there was an engineering college called Siddhartha Engineering College in Vijayawada.
Siddhartha Engineering College.
One of the first private engineering colleges in Vijayawada, in Andhra Pradesh. This was the first private engineering college in 1977.
Okay.
And the principal was Professor Venugopal Rao, and he is close family friend of us. And because he's also a communist sympathizer, and his family also communist family. So that was.
We didn't know. I didn't know. Very interesting.
So he came for dinner one day to our house, and my uncle, my father's brother, is very close to him. Then he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just passed civil engineering, so I'm just wondering what to do because I couldn't get government job, and I'm trying to get some private job like that." I told him.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Why don't you come and do teaching in Siddhartha Engineering College?"
Yeah.
Then I told him that I'm not a good student while I was studying, so I don't know whether I would be able to do justice to teaching profession at least. What he said, I still remember, is that you come and start doing teaching. If we like, we will keep you. If we don't like anyway, we will send you away. Don't worry. So then I said, okay. Then I got confidence level, and then I started, learning, the techniques, how to do teaching, and because I was never a good student also, as I told you. Then luckily I could do some good, reasonable teaching, I would say. And they have given me the liberty of selecting the subjects which I like, where I studied well in my engineering.
Okay.
So then after 2 years, there was a the Venugopal Rao left. Professor Venugopal Rao, he came on leave from Visakhapatnam. So he has gone back to Visakhapatnam. So the new principal came, and there was a tussle between staff association and him. And most of the people left. Out of 56 staff members, 46 people have left. So then I joined in Bapatla Engineering College for 1 year. I worked there. Then after that, I thought of becoming an entrepreneur. And I went to Madhya Pradesh. That is 1983 ending and 84 beginning, and I think so. And my uncle's classmate is chief engineer in a company called Mittal and Company there in Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh. That time the dam construction was going on. Bansagar Dam construction was going on.
Okay.
I registered my company. The company's name also is associated with my name, PV Engineering Company. So
I think for me, PVs all sound the same. I think
yeah,
it becomes second
so
name to
started there,
PV.
and then I burnt my fingers
Yeah.
badly. For about 4 years, I worked there, and then because I didn't have any experience in doing business, so I don't blame anybody. I blame myself only for that.
No, but I
Then I
just take a
came back.
pause here. Sorry, PV. I think it's amazing from being in the field of education to trying your hands in entrepreneurship. And then I think, of course, despite the fact that you got a very big challenge from the professor, from the head of that engineering college, that they will test you, otherwise they will ask you to go back. You worked there for more than 2 years, and especially in the backdrop of
Yeah,
this scuffle which happened, because of which I think 40 people left out of 60 people.
yeah,
I think you
yeah,
must have done a fantastic job there.
yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah.
interesting. Go on, PV. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
So I came back from Madhya Pradesh, and then I was wondering what to do. And the family business of fertilizers also got into trouble because there are a lot of competitors there.
Yeah.
And people started doing some adulteration in the fertilizers, and they used to sell to earn more money. And my grandfather and father, they're very honest and high level of integrity people and all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they said, we will wind up the business, but we will not do that type of fraud.
Mm.
And the business made losses, and I made losses in Madhya Pradesh. We had to sell our land, 30 acres of land. I was there when I was born.
How
So we
much land
sold
did you sell? 30 acres?
30 acres of land,
Okay, you had.
and then
Okay.
two houses we had, for my father, one for my chacha, and we sold both the houses. We sold the land, and situation was that I lost my mother also because she was suffering from cancer that time. And I got that time I got married actually in 1984. When I started business, initially I got married, and the situation was that by 1988 ending, we sold our properties and a house, and then we're staying in a rented house in Vijayawada,
Vijayawada.
and nothing is left. I lost my mother, and except the chain in my wife's, the Mangal Sutram, you call
Yeah.
it, no, Telugu. Except that, I sold the gold also. So it was a pathetic situation actually. So
My
in
goodness.
that situation, what happened is that the principal who has given me job initially in Siddhartha Engineering College,
Yeah.
uh, who has gone back to Vizag because his parent institution,
Mm-hmm.
came to an engineering college in Yeluru, which is called C.R. Reddy Engineering College. So he came as a principal to that college, which is about 70 kilometers from Vijayawada. So he heard about my story that I came back and I lost money and the family is in trouble. Then he sent me a message to meet him. So I went and met him. He said, well, can you join as construction head for this engineering college? Because that
Mm.
time they were constructing the engineering college buildings. And the classes were run in a polytechnic adjacent to that. And
Okay.
I was getting the construction activity. I used to go in season ticket railway in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I used to return back night 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, like that.
14,
About
15 hours every day.
yeah, so 3.5 years I worked there. Like I was instrumental in constructing the buildings in Yellow Engineering College.
Mm.
Then one of my very close friend, childhood friend called Surendra. He's from Gannavaram. He's near to Vijayawada. There is a place called Gannavaram actually. So he met one day. I met him. He said that I'm going to Muscat for some business because he does terry towels business. Towels business.
Okay. Okay.
He has a factory. He said, I know somebody in Muscat who is the son of an oil minister. So I'm going there. Then I said, can you get me a visit visa? I will also come to find a job there.
Yeah.
Then he postponed his journey, got me a visit visa. Then I went to Muscat in 1993, August 10th, I think I went there.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went there, I met the owner of that company. He was the minister of oil minister at that time,
Okay.
and 1993. And Surendra, spoke to him on business and all. Stayed there for 3 days. While leaving, he asked, "He's my friend. He's a civil engineer.
Yeah.
Can you find him a job in Muscat?" He said, "Why in another company? I have a civil engineering company. Let him join my company as a civil." So I joined there, and I worked for 1 year. The problem is that the company was in bad shape. I don't know about it. Financially, it was in a bad shape. So I
Yeah.
worked for 12 months. I got a salary of 3 months.
Oh my
So
God.
again, again I was in trouble, and I don't know what to do. Then my uncle's friend is a doctor there in Muscat. So he did MBBS and started doing practice there in Muscat. So he knows a very good, a high top official of Bhavan company. Bhavan's is like an L&T. Like L&T, there is a company called Bhavan in Muscat. So their technical advisor is very close friend of my uncle. So he gave me a letter saying that why don't you go and meet so and so general manager in a company called Billadovan. Billadovan
Yeah.
is into pre-engineered buildings.
Yeah.
So in '94 ending, I went and joined Billadovan.
Viladuman.
Billadovan was started almost 20 years back before I joined. And they are into
Mm-hmm.
pre-engineered buildings. And I am new to pre-engineered buildings. I don't know about it. Pre-engineered buildings is very new to me. And
Yeah.
there is an Egyptian through whom I learned about pre-engineered buildings. Worked there for 3 years. Later, I joined another company in Muscat, Zubair Group. There is also another big group in Muscat. Then in '99, December, because my father is alone, I lost my mother, so my children have reached 10th class stage. So education is difficult there in Muscat. So I was thinking of moving to India. Then I got an offer from Kirby, Kuwait, saying that they are starting Kirby India in Hyderabad. So are you interested in joining as a head of erection? I
Mm.
said, okay, fine, because Hyderabad is known place to me, though I'm not from Hyderabad, but I was from Vijayawada. I agreed and then returned back to India. Then joined Kirby as erection head. And after 1 year, they have entrusted me with sales responsibility also. So I was general manager sales for South and Western region and Central region.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then head of erection for all over India. So
Okay.
I worked for 5 years. I worked there. And in 5 years, I got promoted 3 times in Kirby. And then I got the opportunity of working with Tata BlueScope Steel. I got an offer in 2005, I think in March or April, I think I joined Tata BlueScope Steel. And that was because I was given the opportunity to head the PEB business.
Yeah.
Because Tata BlueScope Steel had components business and PEB business as well.
Correct.
So I was heading the Butler business, Butler brand
The
business.
manufacturing is, yeah.
And I was part of the team which constructed the factory and established the business all over India, PV business, and
Yeah.
had the opportunity of meeting people like you there. And then I was staying in a house in Pune, and my father doesn't know the language.
Yeah.
He doesn't know Telugu. He doesn't know any language other than Telugu.
Ah.
And then in 2007 ending,
Yeah.
uh, I got a call from chairman of Pennar Group, Mr. Mutendra Rao, saying that they want to start a pre-engineered buildings division in Pennar. Because Pennar has been existing for 30 years almost
30 years.
before that, but they were into steel value-added products, but pre-engineered buildings division was not there.
Okay. Okay.
So they asked me to be the president and the head of that institution, that company. So I discussed with my family, and my father was happy because going back to Hyderabad is a better thing. So I came back in 2008, January, I joined the company. And when I joined, it was a global recession. It was a global recession, very well. 2008 is
Oh,
a
in the
global
same
recession.
year. Ah, January
Yeah.
2008, and then
The fall
recession
of
hit.
Lehman Brothers and all,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
same
a
year.
terrible year, actually. 2008 was a terrible year. So the board of NR was wondering what to do. We got this guy from Tata BlueScope Steel. What to do here? shall we send him back to Tata BlueScope Steel if they agree?
And
Or
we
what
will
to
be
do?
looking for PV to come back and join us.
After 7 months or 8 months, they took a decision. Let us go ahead with the project, but prune down the budget. Instead of having a capacity 2 beam lines and all, let us have one beam
Yeah.
line capacity. So I was the first employee. And when I
In
joined Pennar,
Pennar, PV business.
in PV business, I was the first employee. My employee number was 1001. And when I joined, some of the competitors, I don't want to name some people, some competitors whom I know very well. They told in their review meetings within their companies, internal review meetings and all. PV came and joined Pennar. It is a big blunder he has done, and Tata Blue Steel is a very great company, and he will fail definitely. This is the comments made by some people. And when I joined, and many people came because I have been in this PEB field for a long time, and I know many of the people who worked in Kirby, Tata Bruscope, and other companies, Jamil Steel, and all.
Yeah.
I had a personal rapport with all of them. So they came and joined Pennar only because of me, because they don't know about
I
Pennar.
know that. I get a feeling. Many people, I think.
They know,
They were some of
they
the best
know,
people, actually.
yeah, then some of the best people like Raman Raju, Nataraj Mani, Durgesh, V
Hari,
Ramakrishna,
Krishnan, Hari, and some of
Krishna,
the.
all these guys, many guys like that. Maybe I'm not able to tell all the names because the
Yeah,
time is short.
many.
Many people who have joined this company because of me. So we started in 2010 January. Actually, we took the land and we constructed the building ourselves, and we started the business in 2010 January. We started the commercial business. And that was the first financial year with 3 months only, January, February, and March. We did 34 crores.
Wow.
34 crores in profitable. Then we have grown to such an extent of reaching 700 crores in almost 9 years time. And
Okay.
we crossed 500 crores in 3 years, 4 years, sorry, 4 years, and then we reached 700 crores. And that time the raw material price was less. 700 crores revenue in that type of raw material price is very difficult to get.
Very
And
difficult. I
nowadays,
know. I think people know how
nowadays
difficult
it's
it is.
double. You can consider that as double. You can consider that as 1,400 crores. Those days, 700 crores means
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
raw material price was less,
Yes,
about
yes,
35,
yes.
40,000 rupees only. So, because the team, I would attribute all this to the team only. If I had not had the team what I had, I would not have reached this stage. The kind of success story of Peps Kanar, it wouldn't have been there without the team. Because I'm very passionate about the team. You asked about how could you get so many people and all. Because I always think that human capital is the most important thing in life. If you
Mm-hmm.
have good team, you can do wonders. If
Yeah,
you
it's
if
about
you if you if you don't have good team, even if you have the best of the plant, best of the equipment,
yeah.
then it is difficult to survive in the market and get going. And
Very
we had
interesting.
tremendous response in the market, and we had entered into even diversification also. We started engineering services business in the US, because we providing design and detailing services to the companies in the pre-engineered building companies in the US. Then we started solar module mounting structures. Then we started solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
So that type of and also structural steel business we started. And by around 2000, I think 13, there is a private equity that entered called Chapter Peacock, an American company entered into us.
Yeah.
Then after that, as you know, the private equity partners, they look at exit either by buying their stake by somebody else or going
Yeah.
for public issue. These are the
Yeah.
two, ways people look at it.
Right, right, right.
Private equity guys. So we went for public issue, and it was a grand success. Public issue was a success, and later the board took a decision to merge the company into the parent company, Pennar Industries. So
Okay.
it was merged in 2019. The company was merged
Mm-hmm.
into Pennar Industries, and I was made the joint managing director for the whole group. So then I left in 2021 March. I left, and I had in mind that I should start something my own to check my luck once again, because I failed once again, and I want to prove that I will be successful again. So
I
I
think thank you so much, PV. I think it's such a heartwarming, very interesting way of explaining the entire journey, because I can see that you have completed one circle. We talk about life, one circle, completing one circle. You started while being an entrepreneur, and you again have come to become an entrepreneur. But before that, in between this, I think you have got so much of wide range of experiences. I'm getting a lot of thoughts while hearing you. So first thing which is coming to my first thought, which is coming to my mind, is thinking about your in-laws, a girl who's going to get married to a boy who has sold up 30 acre of land, who has sold up both the houses. She must have seen something. The family must have seen something in you. You know, they must have known that
Yes,
this guy
actually,
has got something. Would you like to share something as how things happened before wedding? It's very interesting because I see the connection.
my father-in-law was assistant engineer in irrigation department. Very
Okay.
simple, humble family, and he has two sons and one daughter. And suddenly the match was fixed in 1994, August 7th or 8th. I think I have seen the girl. It was an arranged marriage basically. I've seen her, and then I liked her immediately. She also liked me. And 15th of March was 15th of August, the same month was my marriage. When country got Independence Day, celebrations and all, I lost my independence. Of course, my wife keeps saying that, where did you lose? You didn't lose. I lost independence and all. So,
But I think this wedding actually paved the way for your independence in terms of finances, in terms of liberty which you got. Because I think this wedding actually took off on a very positive note, as I can see now.
yeah. So
Yeah.
then I had two sons, and then after that, when I lost money, also I don't know. Normally, ladies get panic when we lose money in the business and we sell properties, especially we sell their gold.
Yeah.
They get very panic and they get depressed and all. But
Yeah.
she stood by me, and she never complained, and she never said that, don't worry, I'm confident that you will succeed. That was the confidence level she had in me, and stood by me in
Very
difficult times.
powerful. It's a very powerful cause, PV, because this is one factor which might have prevented thousands and lakhs of people who could have become a very successful entrepreneur from becoming so. Because when it comes to wife and family, they actually come in the way. They say, "Oh, yeah, don't take chances. Why don't you join this company? Just do a job, reasonable job, and let's retire from this and let's do travel across the world, couple of countries, and then that's all. Have some bangles and all that." It's a very powerful factor, because even when I decided to get into this field, even now I'm getting some offers from some companies. My wife is always saying, "No, you be in this field. I know you're going to make it big. Just be here, just stick here." So I think the support from wife is a very important factor there.
Very important.
Very
Yeah,
important.
very important.
And I can see that, surprises that after you got married, things have started taking off. There is this person who was the head of this first engineering college, he comes again to you. And I can see that. I always tell people that when people have got this courage, you'll find some people, universe, God, whatever you call it sends some people. Or the same person again comes back to you. Again, he is asking you to get into construction. By the way, this was the first entry for you in the field of construction. And I think, as people say in India, I was talking to a couple of people that PV is the kind of Bhishma Pitama in the field of steel building construction in India and outside India also. Because I think, just imagine, you got into this field. I think there's a new building being constructed. You came here and then you worked for 3.5 years in such a hard-working manner. I think let's take a pause here on the second point of this hard-working ability to work hard. In a world, PV, where you must have seen, there are youngsters. You also must have recruited many people. Most of the recruitments must have gone well, but there might have been some people who might be looking for all that glitters. Let me just jump in and get some 3 increments in 3 years. Now, PV got 3 increments in 5 years while working Kirby, but that's something which is very rare, because before that, there is this history of you having worked for 3.5 years. Would you like to give some message to people? Let's take a pause here. Would you like to give some message to youngsters about the power and importance of working hard, especially in the initial phases of their career?
Yeah. See, basically, I don't know. I'm not an expert to give opinions, advices to people, youngsters, and all.
No, you are an expert, I think.
But my feeling is that we should always be positive minded. We should think positive. That is the most important thing in life. And another thing is, we should aim high always. If I aim that I should become a manager, I'll become a only clerk only. That's all. If I aim to become a managing director of the company, at least I'll become CEO.
Absolutely.
So we should always aim high. That is always my way of thinking. The other one is that we should not compare with others. We are we. That's all.
Very important.
Many people do mistakes comparing themselves with others. Others have properties, they have cars, they have other things and all I don't have. We should not worry about it. That's all.
Very important
Our
point.
life is our life. That's all.
Yes.
The other thing is that we should be doing what we feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
We should be passionate in what we are doing. If I'm passionate with pre-engineered buildings, I should do that only. If I'm not passionate with computer science, I should not study computer science. So whatever we do, we should do with passion. We should have commitment and honesty and integrity. Of course, it will pay a lot. in anybody's life. And these are the things which I can tell. Other thing is that, but normally what happens, Arun, is that we always tell our children and others about success stories of people only. I would suggest that we tell about failure stories also.
Absolutely.
Because failure
Absolutely.
stories will tell how the person has failed. At least the children, the youngsters and all will understand what went wrong with that person. And they
Yeah.
will take care in future, in their life, they will at least take care.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. I fully agree. Actually, maybe I'm just sorry I'm interrupting you. I'm just thinking about one thing. You said something which is very powerful. See, I always tell people that the secrets of success are very few and they are very simple. But in a world where people would look for some complexity in some of these charts and diagrams, and somebody with a suit and tie coming and talking about something for 3 days, and then people are working for 10 hours every day studying something, and still they have not got the essence. The essence here is that there is no comparison. In the background, I'm just showing my vision board, because when I did it, I got a very clear indication that everybody is unique. No comparison.
Yes, exactly,
Actually, you can't compare, because there is something called wheel of life in which there are 8 spokes. So 8 spokes are what? These are money, career, health, family, passion, fun and recreation, a lot of things, contribution to the society. You can't compare two people on wealth, first of all, because there are other 7 spokes which are very important. There are people who have got a lot of wealth, and there are other people who have got beautiful, brilliant family life, and of course they have got
exactly.
I don't know, PV. I think we can do something together. We can have some more of some programs. We have to awaken the society. I'm saying this with humility. You said a student, being a student. Absolutely. We all are a student. So we are unique. Next thing which you said is very, very powerful. Stories of failure. When I wrote my first book, the first thing I think I might have seen in some of these videos, adversity is the mother of transformation. When things go wrong, when things go, I don't want to use the word wrong, because when things go against your wishes, those are the right moments for you to pick up a lesson and do something about it. But I think people are looking for everything easy, in a lottery culture where they want 100 times the outcome. I think we have to do something about it. Maybe we shall visiting and let's do something about
Yes, exactly.
Excellent, PB. I think it's amazing. So, PB, so I think your messages are very clearly given to the youngsters. I hope the audience, you please, I think you have to think about some of these messages. While editing, I'm going to put these messages very clearly. PB, something I think which is a very beaten question, but I think it's important because many corporate people are going to watch this. So, leadership, some of these things which you like to, I think already you shared some of the leadership lessons. You spoke about the power of team. But I also connect this with the power of being a leader, because had it not been a great leader, you would not have got such a powerful team. Leaving some of these companies and joining you and being with you for so many years, I have seen people, whereas the same people couldn't stay in other companies. I don't want to get into details for more than a couple of years. So I think leadership and team both are, I think, linked. Would you like to share some of these leadership lessons for the corporate people who are looking for some charts and diagrams and all that? I think it's all very simple. Would you like to share some of your leadership secrets?
We have to first of all we have to treat our team members like what we expect that we should be treated. That is the fundamental thing, because some of the people worked with me for 22 years, 23 years, 24 years, like that. So I always give importance to them, and whenever I go and talk in some colleges and academic institutions and other places about my speeches and all, I always talk about my team members, because without team you cannot do that. And human capital is the most important thing nowadays. You can buy machine. If your machine is spoiled, you can buy machine. If the building is spoiled, you can construct a new building. But you can't get the people if you lose them. That is the fundamental thing. Give value to them, and while selecting, you keep in mind that the other person also is a team person. If you select the person who is not a team person, then it is a problem for you. Then once you select the team, you don't do daily, talking to them and daily, asking them to produce results and all. You have to believe them first of all. You have to trust them. Trust and believe on your functional heads, so that they will get their own team members and they will perform. Of course, you do the reviews once in a month or twice in a month. You do the reviews and all. Give them the directions. Give them whatever inputs you want to give, but give them freedom to work. We should not interfere on day-to-day basis. That is my way of working, actually.
Absolutely, that's the way. But I'm just wondering, BB, what you said is absolutely making common sense. I'm pretty sure the audience also will resonate. They will feel the resonance with what you just said. But PB, I also have seen that some of these very highly qualified people, they will read it in books, they will listen to PB, and still they can't restrict themselves from, poking their nose or whatever you call it
Yeah,
every
this is not
single
right.
day.
So
So
we
giving
should trust them.
empowerment.
We should trust them and we should believe them. That is my way of perception. Then only they will perform. Actually. And
Yeah,
that
actually,
liberty should be given. That liberty, that flexibility should be given. And
flexible.
whenever there is a success, we should always attribute the success to our team. We should
Mm.
not take, as a leader, we should not take the success to our credit and failure to their credit. That's the wrong way of doing it.
I have worked in a few MNCs, multinational companies. I can see that people in pen are those who work with you. They must have been privileged, because what you just said is something which I have seen many companies talking about, but very few companies actually practicing it. I don't know, there is some reason, but still I've worked in Tata Group and most of these companies have actually practiced some of these things which you spoke about.
Yeah.
Maybe whenever I speak with people, some people, as a part of these weekend conversations, I always tell people that the first time I got this idea of having these heart-to-heart conversations, I think many people take a cup of mug of coffee or tea and then they interact, because those are the moments when you get the actual essence coming out, essence of life and success.
Yeah.
So I got this inspiration to start this series of interactions when I was writing a few books, co-authoring some of the books with some people. And then I got a feeling that everybody in this world has got some books hidden within the person. Now, when it comes to PV, I'm pretty sure PV has got 1 dozen books. So PV, I think you are the only person that I'm talking who has already got a book written. There is something which was already published.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
like to share something about it?
So yeah, what happened is that, see, while after I joined Tanar,
Yeah.
we used to conduct press briefing, about our company, about our plans of the company and all.
Yeah.
In 2010, one business editor of a leading newspaper in Telugu, it's called Eenadu. Eenadu belongs to Ramoji Rao.
Okay.
Ramoji Rao's newspaper. It is largest circulated Telugu newspaper.
Yeah.
He's a business editor, Subba Rao, his name is. So he once suggested, looking at the way I was speaking in the business briefings and all, he suggested, why don't you write editorial articles? I said, I don't know whether I am capable of doing so or not. What he suggested is that you write 3-4 articles and send to the editorial board. This is the email address of your editorial board. You send it, because I was a little scared, because that's a very, very largest circulated Telugu daily newspaper.
Ramoji. Yeah.
Editorial means I should have the stuff to do it, first of all.
Yeah.
I should have the ability to start and end. All these techniques are there in articles, writing articles and all.
Yeah.
I attempted. It took me about 2 months' time. I wrote 4 articles, and then sent to them. Then they published one.
Okay.
After 4, they published one article. In 2011, it came first, actually.
Yeah.
Then after that, they started encouraging me, and after writing, the article started coming once in a month, twice in a month, like that. And after writing 6 articles, they sent a check to me. Each article, they pay honorarium of 1,500 rupees.
Wow.
6 articles together, and they sent me 9,000 rupees. Then I returned back the check to them, saying that I am not doing this for money. This is my passion. Writing articles is another passion other than business. So I returned back to them. Then the journey continued, and the subjects I have chosen are education, health, industry, economy, environment, women and child welfare, tourism, solar, this type of topic, except politics, because politics I don't want to touch, because it's a
I think earlier you had a very strong thought process about certain politics. So a lot of changes have to happen.
Yeah. So around 1.5 years back, I completed 100 articles. 100 articles.
100 articles.
100 articles, and then I prepared a book in Telugu only, because the articles are in Telugu. So I prepared a book. The heading is in Telugu, it is Alochana Kavali. Alochana means thinking. Kavali means required. So thinking is required.
Most important.
So that was the book, and after that also some 20 articles are published. As of now, around 120 articles are published. That is how I'm little known to now Telugu, people in both the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, because this is the largest circulated Telugu daily.
I think I'm just thinking about this movie which has become a super hit, cult hit across the country, Kantara.
Yeah.
And then earlier, when the makers made this movie, they thought it's going to be only limited to that area of, Karnataka, which is the coastal area. But then it has gone across the country. It has become such a big thing. Now people are talking a lot against Bollywood. These people are not getting it in their head. They have to understand what is and how to make a movie.
Yeah.
I think Your books have to go to Pan India. We'll work it out.
This
is my passion to let the books go to all the bookstores in the country.
I decided not to sell them actually because I want to give to friends and relatives who can read the Telugu history.
Entire world is our friend, PV. We'll let it go to people. We'll work it out. We'll find a way.
They are written in Telugu, so others can't read them.
No, I'll discuss with you offline. It's something very powerful because I know when I'm listening to you, I see a huge series of couple, at least 2 books. I'm thinking about that first college where you went as a professor, where you got a challenge that if you do not perform well, we'll ask you to go out.
Exactly.
You spend there, and then the same person comes in your life, and then you start getting into from being a lecturer or professor in a college. You get into the building of a college. It's a very interesting transition, I've hardly seen such a transition. And then it becomes your DNA. I think this becomes the essence of being PV Rao because people across the country, outside the country, know you as a PV person. PV, I think you left Tata Business Steel and then you joined Pennar. And then I saw a very interesting, very fancy name coming, Pips Pennar. Very, very, very nice. Was it your brain thought process? Very nice. I used to like it.
Actually, it is the brainchild of our chairman, Mr. V Rao. See, we were thinking to have some logo because the company's name is Pennar Engineered Building Systems.
Yeah.
So it's called PEBS. So that's how it has come. It is, of course, synonymous with PEB. But the company's name itself is Pennar Engineered Building Systems. That is and it belongs to Pennar Group. That's why we put the logo as Peps Pennar like that.
Very interesting. I was looking for a picture which I've got for the audience. So I saw this. I've seen some pictures. Of course, we are not connected on Facebook. So otherwise, I would have got lots and lots of pictures of you.
I'm not on Facebook, Arun, actually. So I'm scared to be on Facebook, actually.
But I saw one thing while looking for some videos and talks about pictures of yours on social media. I saw a lot of videos, interactions where you have given.
I had interactions in some of the channels.
So I saw instead of pictures, I got some videos which I'm not showing here. I'm just requesting the audience to go to social media, check PV Rao and check videos. You'll find some interviews. Very interesting. And
this which you have put this large in Germany.
I
went to Germany. As I was telling you, at the age of 63, I became an entrepreneur once again. So, and then one of my long-standing colleague, PV Ramakrishna, is the executive director for that. And then we have excellent team members like Pandian, Shanmugam, and whatever Chicken and all. So this company is in Chennai, based in Chennai. We are into design, supply, and installation of custom-made automatic building machines, like robotic machines and that type of machines. And we went to large Germany to tie up, to have a technical collaboration with them. And they developed a new machine called Cobot, which is nothing but a collaborative robot, actually. So we are now authorized dealers for that Cobot machine in India.
Oh, wow.
And we do system integration and all. And we are trying to do some R&D to make it useful for the PV industry, the end plates building, like that, even for the earth moving equipment, automotive. So all these fields, we want to make it some system integration and then do some R&D and make useful for those segments.
Very interesting. If you can share me offline the website, I'll
do that. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah.
Very important.
Its name is VP Synergic Weld Solutions.
VP Synergic Weld Solutions. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it something. Very nice. And of course, I think it's all about technology, which is taking the country ahead. So I think it looks like a very
because now what is happening is the welders are a shortage in India, all over the world. So this is a automatic welding machine which avoids manual welding.
Yeah, and this also gives a better quality, I guess, very consistent.
Better quality, exactly. Yeah.
And it's safe for people because there is no harm to eyes and all that, so you don't have to take those precautions. I think it's
very That's correct.
Maybe not exactly the same similar example, but I'm just thinking about one of the stories which I had read because I'm in the field of inspiring people. So I keep on challenging me whether I can inspire somebody within 30 seconds, within 1 minute, while being at any place. I keep on throwing challenges across to me. I was reading a book and then I saw the topic which I was researching was, can people create something which is highly inspiring at the age of 60, 70, 80 years, at any age? And of course, there are many people who can see Joe Biden, they can see a lot of people, many people. And PM Modi, who is 72 years, of course, this ideology is something which is one side, but all these people.
KFC was started at 65, KFC.
Absolutely. I was coming there and then you already
started at 65. At the age of 65, he started KFC.
65, absolutely. The first outlet of KFC, this is the example which I wanted to come to. The Colonel Sanders, He has started his first outlet at the age of 63, 64, 65. So I think there is a new second, bigger inning waiting for you, PV. So we are looking forward to you rock the world once again in the field we'll
Let
be
us see.
reading about
Let
you.
us see how it goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very nice. Amazing. PV, I'm pretty sure that since you have already written 130 articles, I'm just imagining the purpose and passion which is required for a person who is working as a director in such a ever-growing company. How would you must have spent your weekends while writing these articles? I'm sure you also might have read couple of books. I know you might not have read my books, but you might have read some other books. Would you like to share some of these inspiring one or two books?
Inspiring books, yes, I'm a good reader. I won't say that I'm an expert in reading, but I also read some books actually.
Yeah.
The books what I read, some of the books which have inspired me. One is recently the book is in top selling book Ikigai. You must have heard about Ikigai, which is Japanese way of happy living. That is one thing. The other one is Wings of Fire by Abdul Kalam.
Very nice book. I had an
Nice
audible
book.
version of it. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
The audible version of this book has been narrated by none other than Girish Karnad in a very nice voice.
Yes.
Very interesting 2 or 3 hours. I think people should read it. Yeah.
The other one is which Chetan Tolia, my boss, has given that book as Stay
Oh,
Hungry
wow.
and Foolish,
Oh,
Stay
wow.
Hungry and Stay Foolish. That he gave me. I still remember.
This is a book written by one of the ex-IIM
Rashmi Bansal. Yeah.
Rashmi Bansal, yeah.
Rashmi
Rashmi Bansal
Bansal.
has
Yeah,
written this book.
yeah.
Very important. So, audience, I think because I give a light demo to people that it's not about a book, it's about just one page. It's not even about one page, it's about one line. And if just people get this idea of getting the message, even from one line, they can transform their life by taking some actions. It's all about actions. It's all about.
The other book I liked is Gandhi Before India by Ramchandra Guha.
Okay, yeah.
Gandhi Before India. That means before 1947, what was Mr. Gandhi?
Oh, wow.
That was an excellent book.
Would you like to share one or two key things which you got into this book? Because it's very interesting.
His life started, how he started in Gujarat, and then how he went to South Africa, what
Ah,
problems he has faced there, and all these things, all these, how he became a lawyer, and what insults, humiliations he faced in South Africa, all these things nicely put by Ramchandra Guha.
I think it's very interesting. Now I can see the connection because I'm just thinking about my first book. Because good that I asked this question. Now I can see the connection. Peter Marisburg is again related to Mahatma Gandhi. So when he was thrown out of railway station, and then I started seeing a connection across all the success stories. Across all the success stories, I saw something that there's something called adversity, which is always at the core of all the big stories. I think we'll see your story. I think I'm just thinking. Still, I'm thinking about it, PV. 30-acre land, 2 houses sold off, and then you're working for 15 hours for 3.5 years. People look at the director PV Rao, but they forget to see the journey, which is very important for people to get. That's the reason you said that success, failure, both are important.
Exactly.
See the stories of this thing. Very interesting connection, PV. So very nice. I think thanks for sharing the books. PV, do you get some time to watch some of the movies? Let's talk about some of these movies which might
movies I very less I watch actually. Maybe once in a year. That's all. Both myself and my wife are not not much interested in watching movies.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing what I have been doing for the last 10 years is that I would say 8 years. See, I studied in a government engineering college.
Yeah.
In Canada. We paid per year fees was some 100 rupees something like that, per year fees.
Okay.
So I feel that the society has given us a lot. So we should give back to the society.
Yeah.
So what we did is that the alumni of Kakinada, we meet every 2 years, 3 years like that we meet. About 7 years back, we met in Hyderabad. About 150 families we met.
Wow.
So we thought that we had an idea. Why don't we start some organization to give back to the society? So then we started an organization called KEATS, KEATS, Kakinada Engineering Alumni Trust for Service. And then our main focus areas were education, environment, and empowerment.
Wow.
These two were the main focus areas. And we adapted some schools and constructed toilets and established computer laboratories. And we have recently constructed one skill development center and then a women empowerment center. So
very nice.
We have a branch in the US as well. And some of my classmates are they're very passionate about, charity, from whom I learned a lot. I had my seniors like Dr. Jaydev, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, my wife and husband settled in the US, and they are in charity. They are my role models. Another one is my
Mm-hmm.
very close friend and roommate, Dr. Vidyasagar. So
Yeah.
all these people, normally when I meet them, when I come to know about their charity and all, I feel very proud that I'm their friend.
Mm-hmm.
They made all of us to start this kids organization, and very well in India also there are many people who are coming back, forward to to the charity. Rajesh
Yeah,
Benji,
yeah.
and you have Shiv Nadar,
Yes. Yes.
US, Warren Buffett, you Bill Gates, and other guys, Steve Jobs, and so many people, who
Very interesting.
have done a lot of charity work and still doing.
Very interesting. No, I think pretty sure our audience, those who are watching this video, I am pretty sure this video is going to be seen by many people, lakhs of people, because over next few years, few months or so. So of course, if if there is an opportunity, even I would like to do something for kids, and of course, those who
Yeah.
want to do something, they can send a message to me. I'll
I'll
get
forward the
connected.
details to you, Arun, no problem at all.
Yeah.
I'll
Very nice.
forward the details to you. And my children are also party to this
Yeah, yeah,
kids
yeah, yeah. I
organization.
saw.
They also they also joined as live trustees. My
Wow.
sons and my
So good.
daughter-in-laws, all of them.
So good. And I think it's not surprising because when I looked at your LinkedIn profile, this is your status picture which talks about the country in the backdrop, which mostly people on LinkedIn, they would like to put their tie and suit. They will talk about what skills they bring, how can they're looking for some jobs and all that. But here is a person who is having country in the bag, in the picture. So I think I can see the connection. And I think maybe I also get a feeling that corporates are privileged lot in the country. And I think corporates can do much more than they are doing. Apart from this 2%, minimum 2% contribution which corporates are making,
2% also is not being done strictly,
not
Arun.
being done, not being done.
Because the reason is that I
Yeah.
have read the Gazette notification of that ministry also. It talks about 2% contribution by PAT, 2% of PAT to be spent. And they given the areas of interest also, which area, education, health, and all these things and all. At the end, there is one sentence. If for some reason you are not able to spend, please report to the Minister of Commerce. That's all. That's the reason why people are not spending. They all are not spending. Of course, there are many
Yeah,
schemes.
I know. You are right. You are right. Because I've seen one thing that people even those companies which are doing something, they are doing it just as a matter of tick mark. Yeah, it has to be done. Otherwise, one has
Yeah,
to report to the board. Auditors will come and check. Otherwise, that passion, that inner desire to make this country better, so that our forthcoming generations they live in a country which is less about darkness, which we see on television channels nowadays, and a lot of girlfriend, boyfriend kind of stories which we are seeing,
exactly. Yeah,
which is a safer society. We have got this right. We have moral, I think, obligation to do something. And I think it should not be done as a matter of obligation. It should come from heart. So I would
exactly.
like to share a couple of ideas as how to inspire corporates to do more about the society, how to make people, I think, any
See,
thought from you?
society in the sense, Arun, what I say is that we need not go into the market and try to do something good for the in the. See, our own in our house there are maids, housemaids are there. Our driver will be there, and people around us in the society. If we are able to take care of them, that is sufficient. That itself is social service, in my opinion.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
there are many people who cannot pay school fees and all because I've been paying school fees to my driver for the last 12 years actually. So, because if you take care of people around you, that itself is social service around you. You did not go into the market and raise a big flag saying that I'm a big social service champion and all. You need not do that. You help the people who are around you. That is sufficient.
So true, PV. In the last weekend, I was having interaction with Anju Harnam Singh. She is heading an NGO. She said exactly the same thing, that charity begins at home. And this is something which I have seen over the last few years while being in the field of coaching and transformation and writing and all that. I've seen that it's all within us. All the words of wisdom are the words which we have been hearing since childhood days. Charity begins at home. Everybody has heard, but they're not getting this. So this seemingly simple sentence, how to talk about some sentences which people are still not able to, they can't even fathom the depth of some of these things. So I think as you rightly said, yeah, so we can start teaching somebody, the mates, kids, we can start doing something the way you have been
Exactly.
doing. But I think this is a society where people, it's all about, mostly about showism. So they will hand over 100 rupees, they will take a selfie. And because I've been working on a writing project on Gita and its implication for corporate relationship, I have seen very clearly that Gita says very clearly. I think the essence here is that if you do something, do it, do not talk. And when you do not talk about something good which you're doing, it gives you inner power.
Exactly.
That satisfaction. And the moment you talk about it, the moment you take a selfie and post it, that inner conviction goes. Because truth prevails. Truth is
Exactly.
something don't talk about.
Exactly.
I think there is a lot which you are going to do together, PV, and it's already close to 1 hour. I didn't even know we are yet to come to, because the audience, I think it's all free flowing conversation.
I'll just close it by telling about my children. I think.
Yeah.
I have two sons,
Yeah.
and elder one did his MTech and PhD from IIT Madras, and very hardworking guy, and we are very proud of him actually. And he is now in USA, North Carolina State University, doing postdoctoral research.
Wow.
In my opinion, I think he would prefer to go for teaching. Okay.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
my youngest son is in Virginia. So he's like me, like an entrepreneur type of a person, and street smart guy. And he is a computer engineer and worked for 7 years there. And then he's become a US citizen because my daughter-in-law is a US citizen. They're from Andhra only, but they went and settled there.
Wow.
So by virtue of marrying her, he became a citizen. And now he started his own IT company in the US.
Oh.
So in a small way, he started, and both the sons got married in 2013, both of
Wow.
them. And one thing is that myself, my wife, and my children, we are dead against dowry system, and so both my daughter-in-laws are very humble. They belong to very humble, decent families, and all, not a hi-fi type of families. So because you know very well, I was the managing director of the company and are a big company. So many people will come to me that I'll give this
I know.
dowry and all.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't want. Even my children are like that also, my wife and all. Because ultimately, it's the whatever you teach them, like basic principles of life, that itself is sufficient for them to earn money. We don't want money from my daughter. So we thought that they should be part of our family. We should treat them as family members and all. Not that they should be identified or anything with money and or something.
A very powerful sentence which you just say, sentences which you said, PV, because in the year when both your sons got married, in that year you were at the peak of your career, right? That's there when first IPO and some of these things which you're talking about, the company became. So of course there must have been many wedding proposals. But I think we're talking about the roots, caring for the roots and thinking about the goodness. I think I've seen one thing, that if you are actually, the intention is good, if you're a good person, somehow you talk about universe, God, whatever, it takes care of things. I'll just take one small example of my father-in-law. He has been in the field of naturopathy, having done a lot for people when it comes to the field of health. He's currently the director of Yogram, which is the part of Patanjali. And he was like, he has dedicated himself for last more than 45 years while writing 25 plus book, while getting up at 4 o'clock every day, while talking to people, various people who used to come and touch his feet. And he has been totally into this field of making the world, get the lesson of doing something in a proactive way. That's the naturopathy is all about proactive way. It's like zero medicine, still happy life. And one of his daughters is traveling at times in business class. Another daughter has got Mercedes, and nobody cares for it. It just happens. And the daughter who is married to me, she's always there. Arun, be in this field, and we are happy. So I think people say that if you are actually a good human being, the world starts.
That's sufficient. Yeah, that's all. Yes, we are not going to take anything from this world, Arun. So nothing.
Absolutely.
Because I had the habit of going to burial ground whenever my close friends or relatives die. I go to the burial ground. And after coming back from burial ground, 1 or 2 days, I'll be in a different mood actually. Because we don't take anything from this world, but still human beings fight. I want this, I want this,
Yeah. It's very powerful what you said. I was in Jaipur 10 days ago, and then I was talking to a gentleman called Mr. Ghansham Agarwal. 87 years of age, very inspiring person. His family has got businesses which are giving employment to 4,000 plus people, blah, blah, blah. And he said one thing, that Arun, anybody who is actually following the attitude of gratitude, he will never feel negative even for one moment, because he has still can count many blessings which are there with him. It's just that we are becoming so blinded in our pursuit of taking that, we are losing the sense of life.
Exactly.
And this is one. Second thing is that there is a guy called Dr. Vikas Devakriti. He's a very well-known IAS trainer, coach in India. And he said, he came to the show of Sandeep Maheshwari, motivational speaker. He said that whenever I get a feeling that I'm feeling negative, मुझे बुरा उदासी लग रही है, actually it does it. He gets into his car and goes to a Smashan Ghat, cremation ground. वहाँ खड़े रहते हैं 5 मिनट के लिए और वहाँ देखते हैं. And then at times he used to even Mr. Ghanshyam Agrawal from Jaipur, very well-to-do person, of course. And he always gives all the credit, everything to God, that God has been very kind to me. And he used to go for more than 2 decades, every second day, every weekend, to a hospital, and that also, trauma care center in some of these places. Dr. Vikas Devakriti does the same. He says that whenever you feel like, life has been unfair to you, go to trauma center, you see youngsters, you are still alive.
Yes, exactly. We are far more better and fortunate compared to millions of people in the world.
Millions of people. And this is one of the things which I make people practice since we're talking PV. So I started this program called Magical Morning Rituals for Greatness, MMRG, which I do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 5:30 to 6:30. It's going. It's like मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ ये motivation की गंगा है, join करो. And now I'm getting into corporates, because corporates को ये program अपने लोगों को देना ही देना है, because the first thing which you do is attitude of gratitude.
Exactly.
Just close your eyes, feel the, that oxygen in the morning, feel the silence, keep a smile on your face and count. Jitna count for blessing, count kar lo. I mean, people have to, and once they start doing it every single day, kind of regularly, puri zindagi badal jati hai. Corporate mein they go to corporate like, oh my God, I'm so blessed to have a job in this company. Bolo boss, kya karna hai bolo. I think it's all there within us.
Exactly.
So I think maybe it's already more than 1 hour. And to keep the discipline, because there's a lot of discipline which you have.
It was very nice talking to you, and you're a good motivator. I've seen some of your programs and all. You've chosen a very good field, and definitely many people will get motivated and inspired by you. And I would say that they are lucky.
And I think I'm lucky to have you on the show, on this interaction. I don't call it a show in this heart-to-heart conversation. The audience is lucky to listen to you, PV. I also know that this is not the only interaction. We are going to do more interactions.
No problem.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a great Saturday, Sunday, and thank you so much for joining us despite.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.